You hold the door open, you remember birthdays, you listen, like really listen when your friend is spiraling about her relationship at 2 a.m. You're the rock, you're the soft place, the one with tissues and Uber codes and the emotional range of a Pixar character. Somewhere between just trying to help and, of course, I'll rearrange my whole life for you this weekend, you started disappearing. Not physically, you're still showing up, but the you part, the part with needs and limits and a life that doesn't revolve around being a human life raft for everyone else. Yeah, she's fading. Let's talk about the fine arse line between kindness and self-abandonment, because one is beautiful and the other will burn you out until you are just a husk of your former self. First, definitions, because language is important. Kindness is generous, intentional, and mutual. It feels good when you give it. It feels safe when you receive it. It's the choice to act with empathy, respect, and care, not because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't, but because that's just who you are. Self-abandonment, on the other hand, that's when you say yes while screaming internally no. That's when you override your intuition because you don't want to seem difficult. That's when you shrink, silence, or gaslight yourself for the comfort of others. It's when you think your worth depends on how useful or agreeable you are. Self-abandonment is kindness's toxic cousin that wears a halo, and it's very sneaky. Some of the telltale signs, like the obvious red flags, are like, for instance, when you are always tired, and I don't just mean sleepy, I mean emotionally spent. Another is when you say it's fine when it's really not, and then you spend so much time stewing about it or rage cleaning. Your to-do list has more things that involve other people than it does you. The other thing is that you feel resentful, but then you feel guilty for feeling resentful, and you also avoid conflict like it's the plague. But there are also some not so obvious signs that aren't as widely spoken about, and it's the part that might hurt a little because it's tender. It's a tender spot that my words are touching, and if it does, then you're in the right place because you are here to address those tender spots. So it might sting, but it's in a good wake up kind of way. So one is over-explaining, and that is even for tiny things. Why? Because deep down, you don't believe that your no will be enough unless it's wrapped up in a TED talk and 1,000 apologies. You hyper-function in a crisis. So in a crisis, you become the best version of a caretaker. Calm, capable, soothing. But the second that is over, you collapse. And that could be because you only feel valuable when you're fixing. The other is that you are the chill girl or the strong friend or the give it to her friend. And that's not actually because you are chill, but because you learned early that your needs made you too much. So you became the easy one, low maintenance, unbothered, except you are bothered deeply. And you disappear in relationships, not necessarily because the other person asked you to, but because you thought that loving someone meant losing yourself. And this may feel like a drag, but I assure you that it is not. And I want you to know that it's not your fault. It's conditioning, it's survival, it's generational, but you are not broken. So how do we regain our power? Well, first is actually to acknowledge that power isn't like a costume that you just put on. You actually had power at some point. You actually felt powerful, usually as a child, until you get taught or indoctrinated or conditioned out of it. It's who you were before you learned that being lovable meant being small. So one is to start setting micro boundaries. Say, I need a moment to think about that, rather than defaulting to, yeah, sure, it's fine. This will buy you time to feel what you truly feel. Number 2 is to name your needs without disclaimers. I need rest, full stop. Not I need rest if that's going to be okay with you. Number 3 is to drop the guilt narrative. Being kind to yourself is not selfish. We all know that now. It's sustainable. And the people who love you will not explode if you take up some space. Number 4 is to really take a good audit of your people-pleasing ways. Remember to ask yourself, is this an act of connection, or is it a way that I'm avoiding rejection? That question alone can really change your life. Number 5, and it's so important, choose discomfort over resentment. Setting a boundary might feel awkward, but abandoning yourself, that breeds bitterness. And guess which one lasts longer? And finally, number 6 is to reclaim pleasure, rest, and autonomy. You are not a utility. You are a human being. You are glorious. You are a masterpiece. You are art. You are expanding. You are learning. You will make mistakes. You are allowed to fall. You can get back up. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to say no. And you're also allowed to not explain. Kindness is a superpower. But when it comes at the expense of your truth, it stops being kindness and it becomes self-erasure. You don't have to betray yourself to be kind. You don't have to vanish to be loved. You don't have to earn to rest. You're allowed to be the full damn painting, not just the frame that holds everyone else together. Now go and pour into yourself like you're the main character, because you are. And remember, you are powerful beyond measure. Keep showing up for yourself and I'll be here to cheer you on. Remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.